Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's War Thunder meta, in which we are taking a look at the Q&A with the devs on 10th of September 2018. I was happy to see another dev Q&A after this long while, and especially since the last one didn't have aircraft in it, if I remember correctly. The last one with aircraft questions in it was in May, which I also covered, and I definitely was looking forward to more answers about where they want to develop the air part of the game, let's say, because it does need some attention. And I was looking forward to any questions about that. So let's see what they have in this Q&A. They start with the Air Force, which is encouraging for somebody like me who only plays aircraft. The French also famously completed and operated the Heinkel 177A3 under the SNK's company. Will we see these variants as a French premier or event machine? Perhaps the Heinkel 274, which was also completed by France as a premium. The answer, the Heinkel 274 was not used as a bomber, so the chance is slim. Giving the Heinkel 177 to France would mean we also had to give it to the US and the UK, as they were operated and tested by those countries too. Right now, we do not have any such plans. Let Germany alone have their long-awaited 177 bomber for now. I hope it stays that way. We need some exclusive content. We don't want things like the F-84G to 4 countries, or how many it is now. Just keep it simple. The Heinkel 177 was used by the Germans in the Second World War and not by any other country, so let's keep it that way. Okay, so that's a simple question about some vehicles being added. Let's see what the next question is. Rank 6 has led to lots more modern vehicles, but the game is still missing many important World War II machines, such as the B-27, P-51B or C variant, the Avro Manchester, Ferry Battle, Westland Lysander, Bolton Paul Defiant, and other variants such as the Mosquito bomber variants and early Blenheim fighter variants. Are there still plans for such machines? And there's more machines to add to that list from various countries. The listed machines are possible, nothing is off the table. Okay, that's good, diplomatically widely answered, so that they can add when they want to, of course. I hope they focus more on the World War II machines, as rank 6 for planes seems to be far away right now with the development of missiles and the changes to its mechanics recently. I don't think they quite have it yet. The next question, is the Fiat G59 possible for Italy? It had cannon armament and a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, perhaps a nice premium. Again, a single plane variant being discussed here. According to our research, only a mock-up cannon version was built for Syria. We do not have definite proof that the cannon version existed. Some Syrian photos show machine guns. The aircraft was mostly used as a trainer and armed with 2 Breda machine guns, weak for the rank. Other interesting premiums are planned for this rank. Okay, that sounds interesting. I hope they are interesting indeed for Italy, because they can use a little bit more development of the Air 3. The German P-47 model does not seem to be correct. The P-47s captured by Germany were the Razorback kind, not the bubble canopy. Do you have any plans to fix this model? The model will be updated with P-47 overhaul, which will come eventually. Players and developers alike want the iconic Razorback version in the game. Okay, that's nice again, but that is still single planes we're talking about. So we've got 3 questions here about variations of planes and different kind of machines that people want in the game. And then we have here another question about adding new vehicles. So it's basically 4 questions about adding new planes, and that is not all that we need for the Air Force. This was really disappointing for me, these 4 questions that they picked. And not necessarily because these questions are not, these vehicles that are requested are not interesting. I'm looking forward to all these developments, but I was hoping more questions to the sense of what are you doing for the development of Air RB or the other game modes? I mean, Air AB and Air SB could also use some development of their game modes. Do you have any new game modes in development for these, for the rotation, let's say? Are you planning different mechanics on different maps, making the maps more unique? Are you planning to do something about the static wind condition of destroying the airfield and the ticket counter? I mean, do you want to have options of repair columns, railroads, all that kind of jazz? There is enough ideas in the community about how to develop Air RB. Are you planning to put any of the development that you have put into enduring confrontation into the regular RB mix? You know, that those sorts of questions is the kind of questions we need more, and not these questions about planes being added, because the planes we have, they are fantastic. Of course, these new planes would also be very nice. New planes are always nice to look at and review, and something new to unlock for me as well. I've got almost everything, but the more important questions to the longevity of the air modes and both AB, RB, and SB is about how are they going to develop this stuff. And you know, I don't have much hope right now. I've had hope for a long time that they would put in more time in Air RB, AB, and SB, and especially Air RB, because I play that a lot and I see the neglect there. But I had already expected it, actually. But of course, Gaijin is putting their resources really thin. They're spreading it out too thin. They're working on naval, they're working on helicopters, they're working on World War mode, they're working on missiles, guided missiles, they're working on Tier 6 planes and how to implement that. You know, enduring confrontation is still in the mix, what they're working on. They're working on bugs, flight model, and damage model fixes, which is always good. And they could be working, but they won't, because that's further in this Q&A about World War I planes, for example, which would be easily implemented and requested by a lot of people. But the most important thing is the current air mode development, and that is really lacking. And the last few patches have been already focused more on tanks, and with the helicopters now in the dev server, we only saw two new planes, and further no development on air at all. And I would definitely ask Gaijin from the bottom of my heart, work on air. I mean, you have neglected air for a long time, and although I know you've put in development as well, it has been static. The game modes have been static. They need some development, they need freshening up. There's a lot of ideas floating up. I had a podcast kind of talk with the European Canadian a while back. Lasted an hour. We talked about Air RB. We put in so many ideas in a one single video. You could make the game refreshed from that alone. And there's more people out there on the forums and in the community that have suggested things that they could develop for Air. And I hope that they do. I really hope that they do, because if they continue this neglect of the game mode for Air, then you know, they might see more people leaving the mode, and maybe that's actually what they want. Maybe they want more people in tanks, because that's the more popular mode right now. But I think it's a downward spiral. You know, the less you do on Air, the more people go to tanks. Air is more difficult to do well in anyway, so it's a longer learning curve to get good at aircraft compared to tanks. Many people in my squadron have said so to me over the last year. Tanks are easier, although and more dependent on map knowledge and where to sit and where to shoot, and the skill-based learning curve is much shorter than for Air. So you have a mode that's already more difficult. You give less attention to it, less development into the modes and how the game actually works for Air. And it's a shame, and I really do hope that they put some more time in it very soon, because this Q&A gives me a very sad feeling, let's say. There's nothing here that really makes me jump, even though new vehicles are nice. But we need development of the modes. Come on, guys, let's go. I'm gonna skip the ground forces because I don't play it. I've got nothing valuable to say there. Let's see what they have further here. These are questions specifically from the Hungarian community. Is there any chance that we will see Hungarian vehicles in the game? If yes, which tech tree would they be part of? There is a chance, more likely as individual samples, perhaps as premiums in other nations. Okay. Another question about more vehicles in game, which is nice, but like I said, you know what I'm thinking. Do you plan to introduce ATGM deflection systems? There are some ideas being considered, but that will take a long time to develop most likely. Are there any technical difficulties that prevent the implementation of afterburners? As far as we are aware, no. So tier 6 planes, the issue with that are not the afterburners. Most likely it's more into the missile systems and how to operate that. Can we expect the rewind function in replays anytime soon? Soon is unlikely, so it would be a quality of life thing, definitely. I would also be jumping up and down for that. Would be a nice feature. Do you plan to introduce the so-called rank 0 that would consist of vehicles from World War I and or between the two world wars? There are no such plans at the moment. I don't understand this. Well, they're working on a lot already, like I said. Naval, helicopters, World War mode, missiles, tier 4, tier 5 or 6, what tier 6 planes, and the enduring confrontation and all that, yeah. So no such plans for rank 0, although that would be the most easy to implement and a really nice addition to the game, but alas, it won't happen. Is the ballistics of both aircraft and tank ammunition fully modeled, sufficiently detailed for our purposes, taking into account the requirements for speed? In one battle there may be several thousand bullets and shells at a time. That requires some optimization. I can imagine that. And furthermore, the last question is exactly how is battle activity calculated? There is a huge mystery among the players. We use a rather complicated formula, but we can simplistically say that the activity in combat is directly proportional to the points earned in battle and inversely proportional to the time of the whole battle. Okay, well, that's nice to know. A bit vague still, but it's the simple version, right? Okay, guys, this was this Q&A. I am rather disappointed by this air part and the Hungarian part. No further questions, except for the World War I question, which they have no plans for. So, yeah, I think they're spreading their resources too thin, and they're trying to develop too many things at the same time. And I think as a result of that, we are being left in the dust for the air modes. For me, that is specifically Air RB, but I'm sure there's a lot of AB pilots who think Air AB can use some development, and some sim pilots that think the same of the SB Air status situation. We can use some development for Air, and the game really needs it. I think it's a shame that they really neglect this part of the game for so long, and I mean the graphics are nice. The flight model tweaks are nice if they are positive, and the new vehicles are nice, but that doesn't just do it that by itself. They really have to renew these modes and get new energy and blood and enthusiasm flowing for it if they want to save the air modes for this game. They could really have much more audience and a lot more people playing them if you put a lot of time into developing it further. That would really create a positive vibe, and which is really absent right now for air modes. So I hope you take the hint, Gaijin, and develop it. I'm one of your more loyal and relaxed people out there when it comes to criticism, but I really think that you should give some attention to air, and don't start with helicopters being part of air, because I cannot even play them as a solely an air player. You need tanks to make them work, because they will only feature in ground forces right now, and a single mode for just the helicopters is also not really my cup of tea. I think in the end I looked at them a little bit, and although they will be nice and I will try them out if I get a chance. I won't play tanks for it, but if I ever get a chance of a helicopter versus helicopter game, I will try that. But you will find me mostly in Air RB anyway. because that's the mode I want. That's my passion, and I crave for some development in that department. Let's hope they will bring it, guys. Let's hope so, because the game mode really needs it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.